Welcome to the Rustic Garden Homestead. I want to answer that question that I get asked a lot. What do you do with plants that have diseases on the leaves? Do you throw them away? Do you compost them? What's the best way to deal with them? And the answer is you can really do whatever you want with them. Throwing them away doesn't prevent diseases from showing up in your garden, and putting them in compost, letting them decay, using that compost doesn't bring the diseases into your garden. These diseases have been around forever. They overwinter on host plants, spores float in the air. They just show up when the conditions are right. The best way to treat and manage them isn't really what you do with the plants at the end of the season. It's really about having a prevention plan in place for spraying and managing the problem come the following season. Follow me in 2026. I'll teach you how to manage your plants for diseases and pests. All right, let's get started by just looking at the pumpkin plants and the tomato plants in my garden and just talking about these principles. What I do with diseased leaves. This is my pumpkin patch. November 1st, plants are naturally dying out. Beautiful pumpkins in here. I've given some away. These are all going to get picked. Go out on my porch, taking some to my grandson Austin, actually today, later in the afternoon. But you can see powdery mildew on a lot of the leaves. We'll get some close-ups. And the question I get, and there's a green pumpkin too. The question I get is, what do I do with these leaves? Should I put them in compost? Should I solarize my soil? Do I need to clean the soil? What do I do? And the answer is, really there's nothing you can do. The way that you manage fungal issues on your plants is to really have a prevention plan. And then please subscribe and follow me for 2026. I'll show you how to take care of your plants, set up a prevention plan, do some spraying, take care of them. The powdery mildew here rolled in somewhere in the first week of October as the temperatures were coming down. This mildew really likes the cooler temperatures. So when the temperatures change, the powdery mildew shows up on a lot of your squash. Most of these pumpkins were to size, they were turning orange, I stopped spraying. The only really way to manage it again is to have a plan. So different diseases will pop up at different times. And I gave these some sprays end of August, middle of September, just to keep things under control. So when it comes down to deciding what to do, just let nature do its thing. You can't bag all this and throw it away, thinking that you're not gonna get mildew issues or fungal issues, because you're always gonna have bits of plants left behind. They're gonna sit on the soil. These issues really hang out on host plants around your property. When the temperatures are right and conditions are right, they create spores, they float through the air, they land on your plants, and then they reproduce and they spread. You're really going to intervene when you know that these mildews, these fungal issues, show up in your garden, and you spray and you keep the problem from spreading. What do I do with all these? These go right into the compost pile. I'll just bag everything up, throw it into compost. I'll put leaves, grass on it, let the compost do its thing. The spores aren't gonna last for years in there. They're gonna be digested by microbes and go away. Even if they do, even if they're still in your compost, you're not spreading the disease because you put this into your compost pile. These diseases, these fungal issues, just show up in your gardens. When you first started, you didn't have any of this. You put your plants in, the disease show up. That's because, again, they're everywhere. So you could bag this up if you're really worried and throw it out. You're still gonna have debris left behind. You can't do anything to the soil. You can't fix the soil. That's true with container soils. You know, you just kind of use them. And I want to stress one more time, the prevention plan. And what do I mean by a prevention plan? So what you do is you take notes of when leaf spot shows up, mildews show up, put it in your journal, get it on your calendar, and next year you start spraying about 2 weeks before they show up. That really manages all of this powdery mildew, maybe downy mildew, other fungal issues, and you're able to manage the plants so that you get beautiful production, you get lots of pumpkins, you get nice harvests, and you're not worried about keeping the disease out of your garden 100%. You just wanna manage it so you get a good harvest. Here are my tomato plants. They do have a leaf spot on them. I'm not spraying anymore. In about a week, we're gonna have a frost. The plants are gonna be, killed off anyway. Beautiful green tomatoes. I'll be harvesting those. It's still getting really nice tomatoes as of November 1st. Fungal issues, as I've been saying, and I want to stress, roll into your garden. I can't stop leaf spot and other diseases from getting to my tomato plants. But because I spray, I use hydrogen peroxide, baking soda, and I use a regular prevention routine, they stay healthy. I mean, these are just beautiful at this point. Stop spraying really back at the end of September, just waiting for the cold and the frost to take these plants, but they're still growing, they still look good, all because of a basic prevention plan. You can see the fungal issues a little bit more on the leaves over here, but just look at all those tomatoes. And please subscribe and follow me. I'll show you how I put the beds to rest for my tomato plants. I do it every year. The plants do really, really well with some, just basic end of the season prep. I mean, these look beautiful. If the warm weather was going to continue, I would continue with my spraying routine, but it's not going to happen. The plants here have issues on the leaves. They're still going into compost. I'm not worried about the plants themselves bringing back diseases to my garden. The fungal issues are going to show up in your garden. So will insects, but that's for another video. They're going to show up in your garden, and you can't over worry about, is this leaf being put into compost going to spread and cause problems next year? It's not. It just doesn't work that way. All the diseases, again, last time I'll say it, I guess, overwinter outside your garden on weeds. They blow in, they float in, and you can see since I stopped spraying the cherry tomatoes here, the diseases are rolling in. You couldn't do anything anyway. Like, there's no way that you could bag every single leaf here that has a problem, and whatever's left on the ground, if that was true, brings back these diseases crazily to your garden. Just think about the prevention routine. And again, just to summarize, it's really identifying when these issues show up. This disease here comes when it gets colder and rainier here in Maryland. Other issues come when it's warm and humid. You just start spraying a regular routine every 2 weeks or so, manages the problem, your plants do fine. Thanks so much for watching. Please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com. I sell tomato and pepper seeds at $1.75 a pack. All other seeds are only $1.50. And again, when it comes to diseases in your garden, if you feel more comfortable, you can bag it and throw it away, but you can just take everything down, put it into compost. You're going to see the diseases roll in when temperatures change, just like my squash here. It's going to come back. No matter what you do, have that prevention plan in place. Again, thanks so much for watching.